Sometimes, behind the glitter of an apparently perfect life, lights, applause, magazine covers, lies the quietest of downfalls. This is the story I want to tell you today, that of Yaman, a man who once radiated strength, determination, and confidence, admired by millions, and who now seems to live in the shadow of just one person, Sarah. In the past, every step Can took was his own. He chose roles, signed contracts, gave interviews, always with that determined look that spoke for itself. Today, that image lives only in old photographs. Now he follows Sarah everywhere, as if his movements, his words, and even his character depended on her. I'm not speaking only of love or devotion. I'm talking about a dependency that is stealing his freedom. Can no longer decide where to be, whom to see, or what to share. Everything revolves around Sarah's demands. And the most worrying part is that, little by little, she is isolating him from friends, family, and those who have always supported him. From the outside, he still looks strong, sculpted muscles, a flawless smile, but in his eyes there's something different. Fatigue, a fading energy. Because a leader-turned-follower loses more than his role, he loses his essence. True relationships are built on respect and mutual honesty, but here, it seems there's a game of power and control, where one side commands and the other obeys. For an actor, being a mere extra in the film of his own life is a bitter irony. The risk is clear. If he continues like this, he will lose not only his career, but also his identity. And when one day he opens his eyes and sees that the shine was just an appearance, that the gestures of love were a strategy, the storm will come. Because awareness hurts, and the anger of having given years and reputation to the wrong person does not fade easily. It's not too late yet. His family is still there, his old friends too, and the affection of his fans hasn't vanished. But time is passing, and the longer he waits, the harder it will be to break free. Breaking his chains is not easy. False happiness can fool the heart. However, time always removes the masks. Today, what I see in Can is a man who has handed over his path to someone else. But I also see someone who can still get back up if he regains control of his life. His story should remind us that no matter how strong or successful we are, if we give ourselves to the wrong hands, we can lose everything, even ourselves. In Demet Özdemir's case, the reality is very different. And I'm not saying this only because today she is in a solid professional moment, but because her way of handling herself amid media noise has been completely different. She has known to draw a clear boundary between her private life and the image she projects publicly. While many expose themselves without limits, seeking attention at any cost, Demet has shown that you can remain relevant without falling into vulgar spectacle. This choice, far from diminishing her attention, has given her an aura of respect that very few artists maintain today. Many, comparing her to Can, point out that she had the lucidity and maturity to walk away at the right time. Some recall that she was able to set clear boundaries, even when that meant closing doors or going against what the public expected of her. Demet has always seemed to have a sharp intuition for detecting which ties or environments could drag her down a path of no return. Some labeled her cold or calculating, but today, those decisions seem more like signs that she knew how to protect both her career and her personal well-being.
Unlike others, Demet doesn't need gym photos or endless party nights to prove she's doing well. Her energy is felt in her work, in the projects she accepts, and in the way she presents herself to the world. There are no contradictions between her words and her actions. We don't see her preaching discipline only to be seen in situations that contradict her. This balance is not the result of chance. It's the outcome of constant self-discipline that may not always be visible, but makes a big difference. It's true that Demet has also been at the center of rumors, malicious comments, and hasty judgments about her private life. However, her way of facing all this contrasts with that of other colleagues. She doesn't respond to every provocation, she doesn't justify herself for every headline. Instead of fueling controversy, she lets it die down, staying focused on what matters, acting, growing, and building a career that doesn't depend on scandals. And in an industry that thrives on overexposure, that is a risky but courageous bet. Public comments reflect this well. Some proudly say that Demet had the intelligence and courage to recognize from the beginning who Khan was and that she knew how to step aside before falling into a vicious cycle. Others highlight that her upbringing, her principles, and her way of conducting herself place her in another category. It's not just about acting talent, but about an inner coherence that conveys security and credibility. While Khan seems torn between maintaining his status or losing it due to poor decisions, Demet keeps moving forward without looking back, choosing her projects carefully and watching every step. She understands that an artist's career is not measured only by a moment of glory, but by the ability to sustain it with dignity over time. And in that aspect, she is winning. From my perspective, Demet is proof that fame doesn't have to consume you if you know who you are and where you want to go. She is not infallible, and she has surely made mistakes, but her ability to learn from them and move forward without being distracted by external noise is what keeps her strong. Although there will always be those who try to undermine her or downplay her achievements, the truth is that every time she appears, she projects the image of a woman who holds the helm of her life and career firmly in her hands. That kind of strength cannot be improvised.